Hello, and we're back. Welcome back to District Spotlight. We have our first guest on the phone, Mr. Charles Frazier.
Hey, Charles, how's it going?
Hello.
So it is such a pleasure to have Charles on. Charles is the managing principal at Gateway Investment Partners, as we had just mentioned. Charles, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Where are you, Charles? You're always somewhere.
I am in Florida, so enjoying some Florida weather right now, but happy to be talking to you and
Nice.
the listeners.
Well, Charles is really fortunate because Charles works for what seems to be a really great organization and is doing some really awesome things. Let me just give a quick rundown for the viewers, just specifically what they actually do. Gateway Investment Partners owns, develops, finances, manages, leases, and offers consulting services on mixed-use hotel and commercial real estate. Okay, they work with municipalities to provide projects that will not only be economically successful and enhance the vibrancy of the community, but also create new tax revenues. Charles, that sounds great. But give me a couple of specific examples, because you have some very good ones of projects that have done exactly that.
Sure. I can actually speak to the apartments we're under construction now at Berry Place and Sherman Avenue. Essentially, there were 6 townhomes there that were paying approximately $12,000 a year in property taxes, as well as a commercial building that was paying another $20,000 a year in property taxes. We are constructing, beyond the new opportunities that the 6 residents got to purchase new properties, which all of them were very excited to do. We are now bringing 319 new units to the property, dramatically increasing the tax base, and more residents in the district to pay income taxes as well, which hopefully benefits the city.
And let me just to kind of build on that, describe to people here, for those who aren't in Washington, D.C., Listen Vision Recording Studios, WLVS Radio, is literally at the entrance to Howard University, right down the street, literally 2 blocks down the street, next to the Mcdonald's, in front of the freshman dorms, the towers, right down the street, was essentially land that wasn't being used, and just a few townhouses, yes, but to the community surrounding, not to negate the homeowners that were there, but for the most part, it was a lot of property that wasn't being used for really anything. So to see you guys come in and have some sort of new development that expands that footprint, we think is awesome, and thank you from the community's standpoint. Thank you.
Absolutely. The community undertook a huge plan to do a Duke redevelopment, redevelopment district, probably 10 years ago. And it went all the way down, call it a half a mile to the north and a half a mile to the south of where you are. And we piggybacked on the hundreds of millions of dollars of redevelopment. But in addition to redevelopment, it was important for us to work with the community organizations that were there, which we will include affordable housing for the faculty members of the university, to promote community, as well as even a job training program for residents within a 1-mile radius of the project. Job training, we're actually targeting HVAC job training, heating and air conditioning, which essentially with a GED, entry-level jobs in the $35,000 to $75,000 range. And so it's important for us to also provide community benefits with the investment.
And just so everybody knows, how did this come about? Why Howard University? Why D.C.? Why this area? How did this whole thing start?
Oh, interesting question. So my brother attended Howard University and was in medical school, and it noticed the subpar kind of housing in the area back in the early 2000s. Since then, however, this has become one of the hottest neighborhoods in Washington, D.C., with the expansion of U Street and Columbia Heights, moving towards the west. And now just a very authentic cultural district created by the Atlantic Plumbing Apartments, as well as the Shea. We happen to be across the street from a very large park, and we're able to provide a lot of amenities. And with that, we saw an opportunity and began investing in it a little differently.
And just I don't know if anyone can listen to Charles speak, but normally when you speak to multi-million-dollar developers, they don't sound like this human.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
so true.
And it's like almost I'm like sitting here almost in shock because I have actually spoken with a few multi-million-dollar developers who have kind of a cold, dark stare in their eye, and definitely didn't have maybe family that attended the university where the development's taking place. So it sounds like you have a unique take on this area. Are you and your family from this area?
We are not. I believe that one of my cousins in our history was an educator at Howard University, and we think that one of the dorms was named after her, Frazier Hall. But besides that, no direct.
Besides the fact that an entire dormitory is named after your family,
that's
nothing
cool.
else. Nothing else, though. Just that one
That's awesome.
little thing. That brings me to an interesting point because, Howard has had such an incredible impact on us as a company. We've felt a certain responsibility to the university, as I'm sure many other small businesses do in this area, not just to, service the students, but also to service the community. You spoke really specifically, Charles, about some of the things that you guys are planning to do. Can you speak on a larger scale? Because you and I were all kind of off the record the other day talking about, gentrification being a hot button topic, and we talked about the soaring price of living here in Washington, D.C. Can you talk about what you personally think, how companies and communities can work better together?
Sure. So I'll start with the first part with the university, and we recognize not just Howard universities, but all universities as having this intellectual power and synergies of all this talent, both from students, faculty, and the history of the institutions. And we think that generates a lot of economic activity, so we try to do projects next door to there. But even broader, we see a chance for kind of a globally diverse and authenticity of a community when done right, as opposed to just a sterile real estate investments or sterile companies. So, mentioning your company, the coffee shop that actually, harvest their own beans and roast them at the coffee.
Do we know the name of you told me that the other day. Do we know the name of this place?
I do not.
We got to find the name of this place. Anyone roasting their own beans?
He's right across the street on Georgia Avenue from the Starbucks and new apartment building up in Petworth.
Wow.
And so I will get the name, but there are countless authentic places that are in that Georgia Avenue corridor, and that's also what attracted us to the investment, because then you've got this rich, global diversity, not just black and white, but this cultural and people from different communities around the world, and we believe that makes good economic sense as well as good community sense.
Well, speaking the last, kind of point I'll kind of ask about, speaking of economic senses, how do you, and I myself know the answer to this because we've just by who we are been a very inclusive company. But how do you, on the level that you're working on, this very large scale with many units, thousands of people, businesses, universities, how do you remain economically competitive while still serving that community and cultural kind of initiative? Because, and the reason I ask is because, it's great. This area, without multi-million-dollar developments has kind of sprouted, these little, mom and pop institutions that have helped make this neighborhood who we are and look who we are. And they're from, black, white, different nationalities and religions and everything like that. But when you get to this big multi-million-dollar level, how do you weave that in?
Yeah.
Well, it starts with understanding where the money wants to be, and so a lot of times business is very, I guess you could say, specific, sterile. They have a very specific formula, but what we try to do is understand the business side of it, and so I've got that institutional real estate partner you speak of, with the death stare in his eyes, and make sure that money stays protected. But at the same time, we listen to the community members, and so when you can listen to what people want and what they need, then that's where we're able to combine what business must have, which is it has to, you borrow all this money and you have commitments to investors, but then also weave in what genuinely everybody wants to see, a successful and thriving community. And so I would say the key is listening and a willingness of community members to share, which is what we found in this neighborhood.
Just something as simple as listening.
Yeah.
Is something I think that really goes unspoken about these days. The old adage, God gave us, 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Charles came in with a partner of his and my mentor of 21 years, Darshan Mehta, and they just he said, "Hey, guess what that giant hole is all about down the street," and their vision and their humanity, I think, was so refreshing. Charles, in closing, was there anything that you wanted the DC or the national or international community to know about, Gateway Investment Partners and this project or any others coming up in the future?
No, this is our main project. Just that I hope we all can endeavor together to make great communities.
Man, that's really special. I want to say thank you, Charles. We really appreciate having you on. Thanks for taking the time. Don't forget to go get your kids. Don't leave them. Don't leave them hanging.
They are waiting. Jeremy, Brianna, I appreciate the opportunity to speak here, and hopefully look forward to many more dialogues.
Absolutely. Okay, so Charles, we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. All right, well, Brianna, this was, thank you for...
Thank you. I'm taking my show back now.
I'm leaving now. Let's go to a little break.
Yes. And then we're going to come back with Coach Ron Mcdonald Jr. We're going to talk about health and wellness and getting in shape, because some of us got to shape up a little bit here. So stay tuned on District Spotlight.
All right. I'll work on that. I don't know. I feel really dizzy now. Let me see if I can give myself a chance before I...
Welcome back to District Spotlight. I'm your host, Brianna, and make sure you follow me at _HeySlim, 2 Y's, 2 M's. I am here with Coach Ron Mcdonald Jr.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Of course, I have to plug in my studio, home of the $100 Beats. So make sure you come into Listen Vision right across the street from Howard University on Georgia Ave. come on in. We have so many services for you, the hottest producers ever. So make sure you come in, even if you just want to say hello. So find your way over here. Thank you for coming again.
My pleasure.
Now, you're a certified fitness coach.
Yes, I am.
The very first coach we have on the show, which is a
wow.
really big deal because we're really into health.
Okay. Good.
So my first question for you is, how did you get into being what do you say, a go-tivator? Not motivator, a go-tivator.
Right. That was just a little phrase I coined, just kind of, I see motivation as one thing, like that kind of gets the thought and juices flowing, but then you have to take action.
Yes.
Right? So with anything, as far as that's concerned, whatever you want to aspire to or accomplish, so to speak, you got to go and do it.
Absolutely.
So I kind of coined that phrase as a go-tivator. I'm a go-tivator, and the things that I say are go-tivation to get you going.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So we spoke a little bit, but I want you to break it down again. How
Sure.
you started off studying. You were in computer science
Yes.
for 11 years. And then we were just talking about, like, you picture computer science whiz, and you picture like Geek Squad. This is not Geek Squad.
Maybe not.
So you were in computer science, and then you got into training, physical training, fitness. So how did you make that transition?
Just out of high school, I played basketball, but what I went to school for was for information systems,
Right.
to study computers and learn how to operate them and troubleshoot them and fix them, those kinds of things. And so I got very well trained in that, got into the corporate America, got into a job working for private sector companies, just maintaining their networks, their systems in the systems engineering field. But I also had a love and a passion for sports and fitness and health, all those types of things. So I kind of started doing that part-time, went
Great.
back to school to study and get my degree, and was also pursuing a master's degree, and just kind of fell into that. And it felt like something that I would want to do if money and income wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
Right. So even though IT is obviously, they pay very well, it's
Right.
a very rewarding job on the financial side of things, it wasn't necessarily feeding my passion. Fitness made me happy, like all over, just me doing it and transferring that energy to other people.
That's
so
great.
I kind of made that jump and just said, this is what I really want to do.
That's great, because you found your passion, and you followed a
Yes.
career instead of just having a job.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's very important to know the difference between the two.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
So also, I kind of want you to explain the comparison you made between understanding the technical computer science side to actually understanding a person as a client with fitness.
Absolutely. I usually get a question of that when people do know my history or my background. They kind of say, well, how did you make that transition? And to me, it's the same, right? So part of my role as an IT professional was troubleshooting, right? That's, you sit, obviously you have to implement and install different softwares and those kind of things, but once it's up and running, things happen,
Right.
know, either from the user end or just things just break down for whatever the case may be. So you have to troubleshoot. So you have, most of the time you troubleshoot and you have a process, from top down or bottom up. You have to kind of figure where the problem is. And where the problem is not always the cause, right? The symptom is not always the cause. So you kind of have that philosophy when and it makes you a better troubleshooter. You can get things done quickly and solve those problems. But that's the same when it comes to fitness. Instead of solving problems for computers, now I'm dealing with human beings, right? And you're dealing with their emotions, their history, their experience, and maybe even knowledge. Maybe they're just not aware of those type of things as far as fitness and nutrition. So you got to kind of work with that. So just troubleshooting people versus troubleshooting computers is kind of in the same realm, even with the science behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned already that you work with different people, and people are very different. Like they're different ages,
absolutely.
different personalities.
Yes.
Everyone's capable of different things physically.
Yes.
So how do you, as a professional, know how to cater to each person's individual needs?
Well, that's what they train you to do, partially, and you have to, kind of implement that. You gauge the person's experience, their actual physical abilities. Most workouts or fitness programs start out with some type of assessment. You want to assess their abilities. You want to assess their readiness to change.
Right.
So, you want this weight loss, so to speak, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, maybe even more, but why? Right?
There it is.
That kind of thing. That's usually what I get into is like the why. Like I usually kind of get people into ask why like 5 times or just ask why continuously. Right? So I was like, why do you want to do this? Well, I want to fit into these jeans. But why do you need to fit into those jeans, right?
Yeah.
You know, I want to look good. Okay, but why do you want to look good? So we really get down to the bottom and the crux of this thing, because we want to find something that's going to motivate you or motivate you to go a lot longer past that. So what happens once you reach your goal? What happens when you reach and fit into those jeans or that dress?
Right.
Then what?
Yeah.
Are you going to stop? You know, there has to be something high. To me, I always say there has to be something higher or deeper to keep you going. Find that why that won't change when it's cold outside, icy outside, you're tired, you're sick.
Yeah.
It'll still get you and motivate you or motivate you to keep moving.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's so interesting that you made that point, because it is the mentality that will keep you going. Like you said,
Absolutely.
it gets cold out here in DC.
Yes, it does. Yes,
You know, when you cross that the Mason-Dixon line going up, it's just colder and colder. But
Yes.
when you have the right mentality, you keep on going no matter what.
Right.
So I feel like that's very important to
Right.
keep in mind
Right.
when you want to change your life.
I always say you have to be stronger than your strongest excuse.
There it is. Oh, I like that. Oh, say that one more time.
You have to be stronger than your strongest excuse, right?
I love that.
Because we all got them.
Yes.
I got them too, even though I work in the industry. You know, sometimes I don't feel like it, but it has to be a reason that's bigger than yourself, ultimately.
So what makes your regimen different from going to a regular gym?
Really no difference, but I think from a distractionary standpoint. So that's kind of why I wanted to start my own studio, so to speak, or work with people, because the gym culture can be a little off-putting, especially for people who don't love fitness the same way someone who played sports or where
Right.
fitness kind of just comes easy to you, so to speak. But for some people, this is a struggle, right? They have other issues, hormone issues, lifestyle choices. There's a lot of things that are factors or limiting factors why a person won't adopt or adhere to a fitness lifestyle. And you have to take that into account. And so a lot of the big box gyms, yes, you can get the results you need there or help you move forward. There's a lot more going on and a lot more distractions. So sometimes people need to block all that out.
Yeah.
Right? They're coming from work. They got kids, they have family issues, they got a lot of things going on, maybe even financial. There's a lot of things that could be weighing them down. And then just being in the gym with all these people and it's buzzing and just a lot going on, it can take away from helping you stay focused.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And sometimes you need a quiet place to go or a less busy place.
Yeah. Especially when you go to the gym and you see that really buff dude and you're like, why are you still here? Like, you did it all already.
Right.
So you don't get that distraction.
If he's growling or making noises and doing a lot of other stuff. Yeah, so.
Obnoxious. Ugh.
Can be off-putting.
Very. So on your site, you have a comment. And I kind of want you to go in depth about it because your mission is really influenced by God.
Absolutely.
And I wanted you to go in depth about that.
Sure. So my pillars for my life, the way that I think is always faith, family, and fitness, right? So my faith comes first, my family, and then fitness. So I blend all those things together. That's what I represent of how I kind of like to make decisions or do things in my life. So when it comes to fitness, I mean, in my mind, everything is his in the first place. So why not give that to him as well? So me making myself healthy or helping you get healthy is really to honor him. That's kind of how I look at it. And I look at fitness as a platform for you to do other things in your life. I always say health. You've probably heard the phrase health is one of the greatest wealths.
Yeah.
So I look at it as, whatever you want to aspire to be or do, whether you want to be an author, radio show host, anything, president of the United States, missionary, whatever you want to do, world traveler and just blog about traveling the world. Yeah. Health is going to be an impactor. It's going to be a factor.
Absolutely.
Somewhere along the line, your health is going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Right. And so that has to be something that you hold paramount in your life when you make decisions. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Right. So I want your advice on this.
Sure.
A lot of people my age, my generation, we're young, or like say a small, slender person like me, or people with fast metabolism, anything like that. We kind of take our youth for granted. I'm not even gonna lie. Like we'll eat 2 cheeseburgers and not feel bad about it, and probably will barely gain any weight from it. But I know at least, but there are other people who don't realize that it can catch up to you.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to kind of break down how important it is to maintain our health now that we're young for our future.
Absolutely. So it's kind of twofold in that respect. One thing is this, don't necessarily put so much pressure on yourself, so to speak. Yes, you are, when you're young, you can get away with some of those things from a certain degree. It may not transfer or manifest itself in your outwardly appearance. You just need to be mindful that it could be impacting on the inside, things you can't see, kind of behind the veil. So make sure you're staying with your primary care physician, get your checkups and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that you want to do when you're young, kind of, because that's when, you know, kind of the time where you're more influenced and you can kind of build kind of that road of habits, so to speak, so that you can, you know, it'll become second nature over time, right? Because, you know, if you're in your 20s or mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, start now making those good habits, making good choices, you know, being a little bit more accountable. Yeah, if you want to have some fun here and there, food is meant to be enjoyed. I don't like classifying food as good or bad.
Right.
The only way a food could be bad to me is if it's poison.
Okay.
Right, because that's different,
right? Right.
So, but, you know, obviously you have better choices, those kind of things, because you just want to eat food that makes you healthier.
Yeah.
Right? Either keeps you healthier or makes you more healthy. You don't want to kind of revert back. But every once in a while you can have fun and enjoy yourself from that standpoint. But it's really more about those habits, like trying to find a pattern, like, okay, this is not a diet, this is not a temporary thing, 21-day this, 30-day this, it's not that. This is how I live. I'm going to try to eat food that makes me healthier, that helps my brain work better, makes my internal organs, hormones, all those things work better and perform better, helps my mood and my energy level work better, all those things. So it's kind of three-pronged. You should be making sure you maintain your health, improve or maintain your health, improve or maintain your body composition, and then improve or maintain your performance. It should be all three, never sacrificing one for the other. Right.
Yes. Because it's definitely basically a domino effect.
Yeah.
Everything affects everything.
Because they have stuff out there that you can really focus just on your body composition, right?
Yeah.
You can get lean and all that, but it may sacrifice your actual health. It may sacrifice your actual performance. But you look good.
Exactly.
But, you know,
exactly.
that kind of thing. So you don't want to get into that, you know, because that's kind of dangerous.
Okay. So I'm glad you actually touched on the food part.
Yes.
Because we all want to eat healthy, but eating healthy, you know, you're spending it pretty petty.
You can.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be that way. It just depends how you're looking at it. And so defining what that actually means as far as healthy, right? Because eating healthy food doesn't have to be unenjoyable. Food is supposed to be an experience. You're supposed to be, it's part of our lives. That's how our body rebuilds itself. That's how, you know, not to get too sciencey, but the cells are the raw materials from our food is what our cells use to feed our muscles, divide and multiply down at the cellular level, and everything else that goes along with that. So there's more to it from that, but it's meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be like, you know, you have to eat stuff that you don't enjoy. Oh, it's making me healthy, but I don't enjoy it. You know, there's a certain maturity that comes from that, but it still should be enjoyable. There's ways to do that.
Right.
Yeah. And be financially, you know,
stable.
aware.
Yeah. So I do want, though, your top 3 tips on affordable tips on maintaining health. Just like basic, good health.
All right. Well, number one, I always say is just make water your main drink of choice.
Okay.
At least maybe 80 to 85% of the time, try to drink water. Make that your normal drink of choice. And if you have issues with that, if it's your early adopter, and you know, just find ways to flavor it without adding a whole lot of sugar and stuff like that. While, you know, infused water is becoming popular now. I mean, or just more aware, visible wise. People are just putting like fresh fruits in their water, letting the fruit infuse in that, and that may help you drink more of it because of the taste. If you don't like that, those kind of things. So just try to drink water, because by changing that, you're cutting out a lot of calories. If you are a soda drinker, juice drinker, alcohol, you know, those kind of things. So do those things more in moderation, but water should be your normal drink of choice at least 80 to 85% of the time. And from other tip is just, I like to get people to think of eating all the macronutrients or just all the major food sources or food types together, right? So eat your protein, complex carbohydrates, and healthy fats every meal, right? Don't just eat one of the other separately, right? Because that'll help you stay satiated, which just means more full, right? More satisfied.
Right.
But then you won't be hungry. It'll help your appetite, right? So drinking water, thinking of eating a lean protein source, healthy carbohydrates, complex carbs, not simple carbs like candy, sugar, ice cream, all that good stuff, and then healthy fat sources, right? And usually, in most cases, like if you're eating salmon or something like that, you get your healthy fat sources already included most of the time, right? So that makes it easier. Or you just have to add like some olive oil or vinaigrette or something to that, or avocados are popular now, those kind of things. So just finding ways to incorporate that into your diet. And then number 3 is just move more, right? Find that thing that you love to do, whether it's that we were just talking about, you like to dance, not everybody likes to do push-ups and pull-ups and all those things, even though
Yes.
those things work. Not
It's
everybody
not for
likes
everybody.
that. Something for everybody. Find, even if it's walking your dog or, finding learning how to do, line dancing or whatever it may be, just anything that will help you move more, because the human body was made to move, right? And so I would say movement heals, right? So a lot of the issues or ailments that we get is because we're sitting in a fixed position for a long period of time. Joints get fixed, muscles turn off, then that causes kind of an injury or dysfunctional cycle there. And so now we're dealing with fixing symptoms, and really the cause is you just need to move more. Yeah, just move more. That's it.
And I actually hear that a lot, because with the everyday, 9 to 5 person, they don't really get that chance to get up and move more because they're always at a computer desk. But, they can take a break, a quick break, just take a walk down to the White House or wherever they're from, and,
And so I do a lot of corporate wellness as well. And so I'm in office buildings in the D.C. area, Virginia, and Maryland as well. And so a lot of my message or presentations that I give for that is getting them to do what they call desk exercise, or just do more movement throughout the day. Set your alarm on your phone, or use your email program to set a reminder on your calendar or something like that. 30 minutes have passed, get up and move. Whether it's light stretching, actually walking, all that kind of stuff. Just use the natural environment to find ways to move. That's all.
So also in terms with the movement, I want you to also kind of talk about the different offers you get when you're working with like Beachbody and Insanity and that whole.
Sure. So as a Beachbody Master Trainers, I train other people to teach those formats. Right. It's P90X, Insanity, PIO, those kinds of things. I have access to that. So basically, you just get a variety. So some people, like we mentioned before, people don't want to go to the gym. Right. You can do a lot of these things on your own. If you can find the motivation to just push play, it may not be pretty the first time. You may have to modify the heck out of it. That's fine. That's still a win in my book, and you'll see that that's a win, because the goal was not just to be able to be the best worker outer or fitnesser, so to speak. Right. You want to be able to I empowered myself and took responsibility for my own health, so to speak. So I pushed play. I followed along. Play. The workout was crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again, but I did it this time. That kind of thing. And then maybe that one didn't hit the park. You got to find another one that may inspire you a little more. So just kind of explore, find that thing that'll get you to do it, right? And that way you don't have to spend the money on the gym, so to speak. You can just, maybe commit to an online program, so to speak, kind of like a Netflix of fitness, so to speak, and then you can do that right in the comfort of your own home. Right? And just, you get your 30 minutes in. You don't need to work out for a whole hour. It doesn't have to be a 2-hour experience. Just 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're done, right? And then now the workout's not over, so now make healthy choices throughout the day, and then keep trying to put those behind each other, one behind the other, one behind the other, one behind the other. 21 days goes by, 30 days go by, you start to notice changes.
That's good. It's all about that consistency.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that's perfect, because a lot of times people get discouraged really easily when they don't see themselves like losing at least 3 pounds by the end of the week, and they get really discouraged. And but
that's the thing. So we have to look for other things that show us that we're doing the right thing. Yeah. Right? How do you feel? Yeah. Right? Something that's more maybe subjective. Weight, all that stuff, objectively, we can look at those things. But I always say, you don't buy your clothes by the pound, do you?
Hey now.
You don't buy your clothes by the pound. You buy your clothes based on inches and stuff. So you could probably lose no weight, but you could lose 5 inches. 5 inches is a lot. Yeah. So imagine losing 5 inches and having to buy a whole new wardrobe. You telling me that wouldn't make you happy? Right. So don't put so much power into the scale. That doesn't necessarily mean make or break your success.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also, everyone carries weight differently.
Absolutely. There's a lot of factors there. So you just have to reframe that. A lot of people get caught up in the whole weight thing, but that's really so far down on the scale of success or failure. It's not even anything. Take pictures, right? Look at your pictures. Other people will notice before you do. The more consistent you are, it's a process. So they'll start like, what have you been doing? You just have that fresh look. You look like you've been taking care of yourself, so to speak. Yeah. Right? And so that's will feed your spirit. You'll feel good about yourself. You're on the right track. You just got to keep going with it and not let the scale be something that's driving force. That scale may never change dramatically like you want it to. Right. Because to lose 100 pounds, you have to have 100 pounds to lose, right?
Very true.
And most people are kind of overweight rather than being obese. Obesity is a totally different designation.
Yeah.
So overweight, you may just need to lose 5-10 pounds here or there, and most of the weight you're losing is a lot of time water, because you're eating a lot of high sodium foods. You're not drinking enough water, so a lot of that will just come out just from sweating. The normal processes of waste removal, all that kind of stuff. So it may not actually be real weight loss.
Yeah.
Like actual muscle or body fat, that kind of thing. So, but it takes time. You just gotta stick with it.
Actually, can you clear up that difference between obese and overweight?
Yes. So really, it just has to do with how much body fat you have on your body.
Okay.
Right. So there's actually several layers to that. So overweight usually means you're above 30% of body fat. So depending on whatever your weight is, 30% of your weight is body fat. Right. Obese, level 1 would be 40%.
Okay.
Of body fat, and then obviously morbidly obese, higher is 50 and above.
Okay.
Right, and obviously they designate that because that's obviously a health risk, right? So if you weigh 200 pounds and you're morbidly obese, that means 100 pounds is fat, and 100 pounds is muscle, bone, organs, teeth, eyeballs, hair, all that other stuff, everything else, right? And that's too when people come with this whole weight thing. When you're losing weight, how much weight do you really want to lose? Because your bones have weight. Yeah. Your elbows, your knuckles, your teeth, your smile, all that has weight. Your hair. So you don't want to lose any of that, do you? Right. So,
exactly.
So you're gonna have some weight. It's really the excess, right? We're supposed to have a little bit of body fat on us, which is called essential body fat. Okay. And then we just want to maintain and control our storage body fat. We don't want to store a whole lot. Right?
Okay.
And you don't have to be super lean like a bodybuilder. That's different. That's like for competitions. But you just want to be at a healthy
something
range.
realistic.
Something realistic and something you can maintain. Like I said, it has to follow 3 pillars. You have to make you healthier, or improve or maintain your health, improve or maintain your body composition to a healthy range, right? So that you're out of the range of preventable diseases, and then you want to maintain your performance, right?
Right.
I'm working out. I'm eating better. I should be able to feel like I can do my job, live, play with my kids, just be more energetic throughout the day. I should notice those changes.
Right, and not feel like you have to crash.
Right.
Afterwards.
I need to go take a nap somewhere, right? Those kind of things. And also, we don't talk about sleep enough.
Yes.
That's all that impacts it,
yes.
right? Because you could be doing everything right and get a bad result.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're working out, doing everything right there, eating right, but you're not sleeping. And that's where all those adaptations or changes are going to take place. So we have to get proper sleep. Right, 6 to 8 hours is a normal the range that's recommended.
Okay, because I know with when you're deprived of sleep, it can eventually lead to stress. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes stress leads to more weight gain.
Yes, it does, because it just affects your metabolism, your hormone levels, all those kinds of things, right? And if you're not managing that well, absolutely, it can impact.
Yeah. So make sure you get that. What was it, 6 to 8 hours?
6 to 8 hours is a normal idea, and we're talking about REM sleep. So what that's called is deep sleep, where you're really getting that good sleep. You're not interrupting. Every 2 hours you're up. Those kinds of things. You want to get that good uninterrupted sleep.
Okay, cool.
And they have, what's it called, fitness wearables now, digital things are becoming popular with the Fitbits and all that stuff. They have tools out there that can help you with that, even stuff on your phone.
Yes,
so you can
apps.
use those
and the
kinds
apps
of
are free sometimes too.
You can use things to help you with that, to kind of discover, okay, how well am I sleeping? Those kind of things. So you can help. There's other tools out there that can help you with that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what is an event like with you if I brought you to my house and I said, work us out? I got my girls here, work us out. Like what would be one of your training? What's the experience like?
Well, definitely high energy. We're going to hit pretty much all the muscles you probably didn't even know you had.
Oh, God.
We're going to, basically challenge you, but a good way, right? So healthy stress, right? Because exercise is stress, but it's a good stress, right? Because it's meant to bring about a change, right? We're going to challenge you so that your body's like, okay, well, now we have to get stronger to do this again.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of energy, definitely working the body from top down, from head to toe, and toe all the way to head, those kind of things. And then, core muscles, working on our large muscle groups, the glutes, the legs, calves, working on the upper body, shoulders, chest, arms, all those kind of stuff. So I like to mix strength training, cardio, and core training and mix it all together. Okay. I don't like just doing one thing unless, that's specific for a specific population. But for general population, I like one thing because when you live, you're using all of those things. So I like to train for life.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the idea. You want to train for life. So you don't want to just work on arms today because you're not going to just use your arms today.
Exactly.
You're going to be on your feet. You're going to be using your core even when you're not thinking about it, just by sitting up, using your core, all those things. So you need to train for that. Right.
Wonderful. Great. So let our audience know how they can go about booking you for an event.
Sure.
And how to contact you and all that useful information.
Sure. So like I said, my name is Coach Ron. I can be reached at coachronmcjr.com. You'll find a link there under the About Us page. I can say book me for an event. Like I said, I train trainers as well, so any aspiring trainers that are already in the industry or looking to get into the industry, I work with them and teach them some of the Beachbody formats, whether it's P90X, PIO, and Insanity, and just to kind of help you get started so you can move forward further into the industry, kind of like a mentorship, so to speak.
Nice.
So check my page out and you'll see events. If you have a host club that has multiple trainers and you want to host the event, we could do that too. So.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I'm very happy you were able to come on and talk about, like I said, you are our first fitness and guest. And, we have a lot of, we have a lot of, musicians, fashion, stuff like that, all that exterior, but it's important to take care of that interior.
Absolutely.
And so I really appreciate what you're doing for the community, and good luck with everything. I know you're moving, so we're going to keep them up to date with that as well. When we come back, I'm going to have, another little plug of our offers here at Listen Vision Studios. This is your host, Brianna, with Coach Ron McDonald Jr., and we'll be right back on District Spotlight. Lovely. That was good. Yeah. Thanks, Coach Ron. Welcome back to District Spotlight. I'm back, and of course, we wrapped it up with Coach Ron talking about his work in the community with fitness. And of course, it dawned on me that we have our own studio memberships here to offer at Listen Vision Studios, where you have a silver, gold, and platinum offer. You can get 4 hours of recording time, or 6 hours of recording time, or 10 hours of recording time, plus a lot of other services for very low, unbeatable prices. So make sure you come to Listen Vision Studios and take advantage of everything we have here. This is Brianna, and follow me at _HeySlim, 2 Y's, 2 M's. I'll see you next week on Listen Vision on District Spotlight.